achieve. The voices seem to come alive. I hear only what I need to survive. Is this my final fantasy? Every single time I hear you say, if I will not cry.
Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters in Shanghai 2017. This tournament so far has absolutely been one of the best of the year.
Yeah, since day one, we've been seeing absolutely incredible games. I mean, you can pick a game, at least 2 games every single day that has just been absolutely mind-blowing. Upsets, favorites, we've had it all.
Loved it and really loved it. I don't have the chance that often to cast some of these guys, you know, maybe at the end of the year or the global finals, because that's how good these guys are. They will make it to the global finals, but obviously not 14 or 15. So I had a blast, really enjoyed it. Like Wardy said, you know, often after a tournament, people ask you, what was a game worth watching? And you have like 1 or 2 that jump into mind. Right now, you say like, all right, day 1, this game, day 2, that game, day 3, those games, and hopefully we have a couple of games to talk about day 4, because, I mean, it should be really good.
Oh my God, it really has been so crazy so far. And that round of 8, guys, that was mind-blowing, a lot of those matches. Like, for instance, the herO Innovation games?
I mean, herO Innovation was just insane, right? Because the first 4 games go exactly as we all predict, because we like to think we're experts, and we're like, it's going to be down and dirty, it's going to be really cheesy, and it might work, it might not work, and like, yeah, we were spot on. And then game 5, herO is like, hey, by the way, guys, I'm actually really good at macroing into it, I'm about to show you. And it just, there's no way that you even think those 2 Protoss players are the same. You know, if you wouldn't have been watching the entire series, like how can somebody be so good in macro while being so hyper aggressive in the first 4 games? Awesome stuff. I mean, he caught us all off guard, including Innovation.
And Wardy, what about that Zerg versus Zerg match? I mean, Rogue 3-0ing Dark. Did anyone expect this?
I mean, we said it can go any which way, but I'm pretty sure none of us were expecting a complete wipe down. Like 3-0, Rogue just looked so good in every single game, and Dark didn't even get rolling in the series.
Yeah, I gotta agree there. I mean, I'm a little bit of a Dark fanboy, as you probably noticed over the last few days, but there's only one thing I can say, and that is Rogue was clearly better that day, and was clearly better in that series. The first 2 games, you still have a little bit of hope, but then game 3 goes relatively even, and you're like, all right, Dark, if you're better, this is where you can show it. But no, Rogue was still playing better, still making better moves, and just outmaneuvering him. I mean, you said it in the beginning as well, Rogue is on fire, he's looking good, and he's been very, very impressive this tourney.
But is he impressive enough to take down Byun, who 3-1'd Su, showing the ridiculous strength of not only his Reapers, but his mid-game and sometimes his late game as well?
Well, Rogue has been really, really good this tournament. We saw him against Gumiho on the first day, and since then, he's just continued to impress. I mean, and then you put him up against Björn, and Björn's looked pretty good as well, but we saw in that matchup yesterday when he didn't get to go into the Reaper early game on Proxima against Su, all of a sudden, he was losing those later game fights. So it's going to be really tough, I think, for Björn if he can't get ahead early.
But then at the same time, you watch Abysso and you're like, oh boy. Yeah. That's why that guy is the reigning champion of the global final.
I'm really glad you said that, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just the Reapers that Björn's winning with. The Reapers didn't do anything on Abyssal, really. In fact, I would have said that the lead was definitely going to Su, and then there's things like Widow Mine drops, there's Liberator harass, great tank pushes.
I, in general, feel that Björn is in his element as long as there is fights. And then I don't necessarily mean like scrappy and messy and mistakes left and right. Just high-paced, action-packed games where he can show off over and over and over again. These slightly slower games where he has to move out carefully and then, you know, you siege everything up, that's not his style. And then eventually you get flanked and the Zerg army can be very strong. Let there be 2 or 3 fights at the same time on any given moment. Björn will find a way to micro excellently in all 3 locations at once. And I think that's where he shines. And I think even Rogue, no matter how good he's been this tourney, if Björn like finds that form, finds that element that he loves so much, I think he can do it.
Okay, so looking at that match overall, though, he won all the Reaper maps. Yep. Proxima was the harder map for him. Okay, you can't go Reapers there. Su is a great macro Zerg and all that.
Got bottom spawn.
Got bottom spawn. Well, I'm sure that will be a thing of contention in years to come. But just looking at this matchup, Rogue against Björn, I almost feel like Rogue can look at this and say, I'm dealing with Reapers every game, and he's going to be mentally prepared at least for what Björn is going to do on almost every map.
I mean, but how do you prepare for Reapers when they are just that good? And especially in the hands of Bjorn, you can't just hard counter Reapers, you know? One moment you're like, okay, I get my Lings out, I'm ready. And then Bjorn's just like, you know what? I'm just going to micro like the god I am. And then the next thing you know, you've lost all your Lings, you're down drones, the game's ended.
Well, enough about that match. It looks like it is just about time to bring out our players for our first match right now.
I think the DX Master had a long night. He sounds worse than Tasteless does after 3 days of MLG.
Oh, man. That's some throwbacks right there. DX Master, he has been killing it out on that stage the entire week here at China Joy and Intel Extreme Masters. But no TvT fight. The TvTs in this event have been great so far. What is this guy talking about?
I agree. Normally, I'm also like that. I prefer the non-mirror finals. You know, if you're Protoss playing like a PvP final, it's not that bad, guys. But in general, you don't hope for a TvT or a ZVZ final. But if we get a final of 2i versus Beyond, yeah, how on earth are you not going to be excited for that? Like, if you love StarCraft, you love that final.
Every time the Horsemen battle in TvT, it is insanity. It's like the best TvTs you could ever ask for because they're the best Terrans you could ever ask for.
Yeah, we saw that on day 2. Yeah, I mean, we saw Innovation Maru, we saw Maru Bjorn, which wasn't so great the first time, and then the second time round was absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Well, this match coming up now, TY is 7-0 so far. He destroyed the group that had Dark in it. A lot of people were saying Dark was going to win that group, and then just destructed Ayasanu, who, by the way, played extremely well. He knocked out 2 GSL champions. I think a lot of people probably came in there like, oh, maybe Gumiho or Stats will take it. They've won the Korean tournaments. But no, Ayasanu took them out, but was unable to take a map off of TY.
Yeah, he had an excellent game too, Abyssal. That was a very fun game.
Yeah,
Ayasanu versus TY. But you're right, TY was just too good. But you mentioned 7-0 in this tournament. That's great. But you know what's not that great?
What?
His record against herO this year. herO is 7-1 in maps against TY. When I looked that up, I was shocked. I was like, I really did not expect that. Like, I know that you know, I remember a couple of herO victories, but 7-1. And to make it even crazier, throughout history, TY has never beat herO in a series that was more than a best of 1. Like, he won a couple best of 1s, but he never won a best of 3, best of 5, or best of 7. So the only thing he ever did was winning best of 1s. That's shocking to me.
Yeah, you know, this is sometimes the weakness of these great macro Terrans. If you look at, like, the 4 Horsemen, for instance, he's already taken down, hero's already taken down Innovation, where it's like, if you get late game against Innovation, you're basically dead most of the time. And then TY's the same type of thing. If he gets in that late game, it's going to be hard for herO, but who can mix it up better than herO in the early game?
Well, I mean, we saw yesterday herO isn't afraid of the late game either, though.
That is true.
He can play early game, he can play late game. If I'm TY right now, I'm terrified. And I think what's really crazy is when herO's won this year in the 3-0s, we went into those matches expecting TY to be the favorite as well. herO wasn't looking brilliant, and then he went on to win a tournament. So, I mean, can you ever count the guy out? He's going for his 4th IEM title today.
That is true.
And you know what's bizarre as well is that if you take a look at herO beating Innovation, I think a lot of people kind of consider that to be an upset, even though herO is obviously one of the best in the world. But if you look at that series, you're like, man, everything must have gone right for herO. No, not at all. I mean, there was a game where he blocked his own gold base.
Yeah.
He was supposed to proxy a Stargate and then take the gold, and then he actually blocked it. It's nice to see that they're human and all, but that wasn't even a series where you would say everything went herO's way. He got very lucky. Like, no, I don't think he got that lucky at all. Obviously, I think TY is going to be slightly better when it comes to scouting proxies and don't die to like a pylon rush, which kind of is what happened to Innovation on Abyssal. I don't know, but I do think this is a scary series for TY because herO showed us how good he is being aggressive, how good he is playing a macro build, and you know, which one is it going to be every single game? We don't know. I don't think herO even knows.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. This matchup I find to be just too difficult to even call because I'm looking at TY as, in my opinion, the current best player in the world, really. He's the defending Intel Extreme Masters Katowice champion. He's been killing it everywhere. Sometimes he makes some sloppy mistakes and loses a match, like round of 8 in the last 2 GSLs. But he's so rock solid. He's so smart in his play. But herO comes in my opinion, with the sharpest play that we've seen from Protoss.
Yeah, he definitely does, and that's just what's so dangerous about him. Every single time, what do you expect? And You know, like we've been saying, he's won a tournament this year, herO. That's why he's been doing so well. You know, he won GSL Super Tournament, which was absolutely stacked as well, you know. And I mean, okay, sure, TY won a couple 100Ks already, but I mean, he wants more, but like, herO, it's his home turf, IEM.
That too. I mean, he is the Prince of IEM after all. I'm intrigued by this matchup as well. I'm really going to enjoy it. And I find it impossible to make predictions just by what we have seen out of herO so far. We know that he likes to be aggressive. We know that sometimes he goes crazy on the gateway units, Phoenix gateway all in, it's all good. And then suddenly he busts out a game 5 like he did yesterday against Innovation and just look at each other like, did Rain just possess his body or something? You know, like, what is happening over here? Like, how on earth can somebody who is that aggressive, cheeses that much, be like, no, actually, you want to see some double Forge Colossus? I've got it too. Don't worry, guys. It's awesome, and it's going to be really fun. Of course, TY, you can't underestimate him. Solid across the board. If you ask me, what is the weakness of TY?
It's that he has no weakness.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that. Obviously, if you're going to watch 5 games, you're going to be able to pinpoint a couple of mistakes here and there. But that is the mistakes in an individual game. He doesn't have an all-around weakness, I'd say.
Yeah, well, he has, like, the greatest decision-making in the world. Like, among all races, I think he's just the guy who knows what to do in every situation better than anyone. But in some of these early situations, you can't really out-micro herO. He's going to come in, he might surprise you with it, and he's going to execute at a level that's so hard to stop.
I mean, what's so difficult is that you just don't know what's going to happen half the time. And when herO knows what he's going to do, TY has to think on the fly. And sure, he's very, very good at that, but so is herO. He can adapt what he's doing to respond to what TY is responding to. So they're always just trying to get a step ahead of each other. And it makes it so, so difficult.
I think one thing herO has to be very careful about is obviously certain maps. Like if you think of Abyssal, you already know you better either cheese or be incredibly solid because TY is the absolute master of these slow and tactical pushes. He will get the Liberator near a tank on the bottom of your natural. And unlike some other Terrans, he won't overextend with the Liberator. He probably has an SCV there to repair it as well. And if TY gets any setup that he wants to get, it's often the beginning of the end of every single game because he's so damn good in getting extreme amounts of value out of his slow pushes. Makes it really hard. We also know that TY is the type of guy that like, you want to go up to 3 Nexus, 4-minute marks, there's like a random bunker in the Fog of War with 4 Marines in it and then 2 Cyclones show up. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense. But if, once the bunker is there and all you have is 2 Adepts and an Oracle, you can't kill that bunker anymore. So it's going to be fun, man. I'm incredibly excited to see what kind of game plan TY will bring. He's obviously worried as well about overextending because herO is that crazy Protoss that can go suddenly just pure Phoenix, only gateway units, like no detection, no mothership core whatsoever. So any sort of move out is risky, but at the same time, herO just showed us yesterday, if you never move out, it's a double Forge game. It could be a Colossus game as well. So scouting is obviously always key in StarCraft, but in this series against somebody like herO, probably more important than ever.
Dude, this is why this game is just the best game out there. This matchup that we're looking at between the hottest Protoss on Earth right now and possibly the greatest player and defending champion of IEM, like, it's so hard to predict. But here we are at the expert desk, and that's exactly what I'm going to force both of you to do. Wardy, who is taking this down? What is the map score?
I'm going to go for the huge upset of herO 3-0, like he did the rest of the time.
Whoa, that is a sick prediction. I salute you for that one.
3-0?
Yeah,
3-0
you know
from
why?
herO.
Because the last couple of times I tried to predict herO TY, I'm like, 5 games TY, and it's just been a stump. So this time, I'm believing.
Learning from your mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, the last
adjusting the meta just like herO does. I like it.
The last 2 times these guys played against each other in a best of 5, it was 3-0 for herO, but I don't know, I'm shocked by these numbers. I'm looking at them, it's like, I remember some victories. I don't know, I felt TY all along, and I felt this kind of the year of TY, so I say TY 3-2, but I don't know. What do I know, Tosu?
You know a lot, Rotterdam, but it is such a tough one. TY is in such top form. And I think that this is his hardest match of the tournament. It's so difficult to go up against a player like herO, but I guess it's time now. We finally get to see TY against herO. Let's do it.
Here, he's on as many SCVs as he could possibly want. He doesn't even need SCVs anymore. It's all about having production. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my God!
Two of the biggest Intel Extreme Masters champions in StarCraft II of all time go head-to-head now to find out who is going to be moving on to the grand final. Will herO make another final, or will our defending Intel Extreme Masters champion be able to make it all the way? herO goes up against TY here. I'm joined by Johan Todd Merlo as we get into game number 1 in this best of 5. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, it will be in the blue, representing Root. It is herO. Looking amazing yesterday against Innovation, no less, Todd.
Absolutely, but this guy, he looked even more amazing. Hasn't dropped a map in the entire tournament so far. It is TY.
Representing Splice.
Your favorite team.
I like their hoodie. They tweeted that if you want it, you can get it at the ESL shop, and didn't offer me one. There you go.
Because you can get it at the ESL shop.
Absolutely.
Why don't you take out your wallet, you stingy little boy?
I'll have to knock on some doors in the office later on. Anyway, time to get into this best of 5. Ascension to Aya is our first map to start things off, and they mentioned it rightly at the desk, right? Something that TY has to be careful of is the fact that herO can throw in those crazy little proxies early on. We saw a lot of proxy Stargate from him to start things, and that can really be a wrench in the works for TY.
Both players can. TY is very capable of proxying a factory and a starport as well. In fact, he's actually going in an area right now on the map where it kind of looks like he might want to do that.
Yeah.
In the first map, gets scouted just before it happens. We'll see if he stays the course. It's very, or not that hard for Protoss from there to realize what's happening. Usually if you keep that probe around the main base of Terran and see no factory starting in that location. herO showed a lot of good things yesterday against Innovation. It might have been a 3-2 and he may have been pushed to the limit, but he changed builds all the time.
Yeah.
He had a good mix of aggression to macro. He saved the best for the last. The straight-up macro game, passive, economic game in which he did really well. The defense on Proxima as well.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Very good stuff. This probe's going to eventually be pushed away. Wanted to see anything that it could get, but it will die. So doesn't see his command center starting or anything like that, which means that over on the other side, of course, some of those minerals have been invested into that factory that now herO is going to have to eventually greet. Will we get the starport here as well?
Yeah, if herO scouts this, which if you're able to realize there might be a proxy, sometimes you're going to scout extra for it. It's going to be really bad for TY because then you see exactly where those units are coming from and all that. But it's not like it's a Widow Mine drop or something.
Yeah,
right now, it's Cyclones being proxied. We saw Special use this kind of build quite a bit with even double factory that was over
WCS?
At WCS, yes, in Valencia. And doing quite well with this kind of build too.
Yeah, it was terrifying watching Special use it and showing how much aggression he could put on against Protoss and really ramping up the pressure. The Adept's going to come out now with the Shade, have a look around, sees that Cyclone pop out, now sees that factory.
Well, it's going to be hard to get away here from a one Cyclone SCV. Even getting on the way here to try and block a little bit of Warcraft 3 micro. Bunker is going to start. And for herO to defend here, he knows he can't let that bunker get up. He needs to protect the pylon as well. Overcharge will buy him a lot of time.
Got himself one of the SCVs, but a second one's here to start continuing with that bunker. And that bunker for pylon already goes down to start things off. Another one's going to be worked on here by the Cyclone. The SCV here trying to make the bunker, but and at the same time, that probe at the back was trying to get on some Marines. The SCV died, so no more bunker, but there was only one Marine here.
TY could have killed the Mothership Core if he targeted that, but he gets the pylon instead just after the overcharge actually begins. It looks like it might be a defense here for herO, who's going to push this back. You can't chase too far because there is obviously going to be one more Cyclone, and herO needs to be careful for now. As soon as he gets like 3 to 4 units, then it becomes a different game.
That's going to be an overcharge, as now that bunker is going to be forced to cancel. He's going to have to retreat away for the moment here. But another SCV as well as Marines are moving forwards.
This has already done its work here for TY, or already done its job. He's ahead in walkers. He's starting a second racks at home. Obviously, he's going to be low on tech. Probably going to start his starport back at home as well.
Wants to repair with that SCV.
Yeah, I mean, it's time to get the hell out on there and just go home here, I think, for now.
Oh, well, another S-Cyclone's on the way. And actually, these two Stalkers could be in no man's land here. One of the Cyclones is going to die, but this might cost him both of the Stalkers.
An Immortal just bashed down a Cyclone just right behind us and took it out.
Oh, that's a shame there for TY.
A little bit sloppy here for a second. And 3 fairly quick gateways behind this. Here's the thing about Korean Protosses. They're so good that when they get this kind of defense, they're like, I could actually just counter and kill a lot there. Think about it. The factory was proxied across the map. He's going to have to fly all the way back. What's TY going to make? Just pure Marines, no steam pack, no combat shield inside. Even if you get bunkers, you know, where from the moment you get like 7 to 8 units plus as Protoss. A bunker just kind of blows up. Dark Shrine is going to start from herO. And it's going to be a little bit of a blurry offense here with a DT drop, I think, incoming from herO.
Engineering bay is on the way, so maybe missile turrets go down if he gets wind of what's going on, but it's a little bit difficult for him to do so unless he's going to throw in a scan or something like that, because he didn't have a starport at any point, so no drops are going to be coming around to act as that pseudo scout if he wanted to go for some harassment. So there's the missile turrets on the way now.
Yeah, Blink does start behind this as well for herO. Wouldn't be surprised if he just went into a fairly quick third, and usually behind DTs, a lot of the time, you will go into Colossus, or at least you used to. You can still go into Glaive if you want, and a lot of gateways. The gases on the natural were taken pretty early by herO. And we even seen a really good defense here in the main base of herO, with Stalkers being well spread out all across. That Observer is great, by the way, from herO in the main base of TY, because it sees that there is no turrets. And even how many Marines there are, like how well he can split and all that. herO is like one of those guys that I expect to do really well with moving outside of the scan range whenever there's going to be a scan coming onto those DTs. He's even going to warp in inside of the main base of TY. That's how confident the Observer made him. He saw that no units were there.
Splits them up. One dark missile turret is not done in the main. It's going to have to be a scan here, and it will go down. Cancels the missile turret, knowing that he's cleaning up that Dark Templar. Where's the Usul missile turret, though? Did it ever finish?
Oh, there was a turret down there.
Oh, okay.
It's just slightly below this.
Yeah, I see. Good.
That was good defense here, only losing 4 SCVs.
Another one in the main. Might have to force another scan.
He's trying to. Yeah. TY not gonna... Oh, I was gonna say he's not gonna fall for it, but actually he does scan and gets the DT. A little bit sloppy here by herO.
He was trying to position the Marines just in case the Warp Prism was to try and come in and save it.
Yeah.
Get maybe a few pot shots on that.
So from there, herO's gonna be on Blink Tech. Usually when you open DT like this and lose quite a few of these guys, like it's gonna be very hard to have a lot of units, but in this game he's not been doing too bad so far. And it's just going to be double Forge, Colossus, Stalker, Blink, like we saw him play yesterday in a much more macro-orientated game when he played against Innovation, at which he's really good at. But this is a strong timing and drop here of TY. He drops all the Marines on the top right-hand side. Another DT here was lost doing nothing. And herO's out of position. I think that's a sure cancel on that third base.
Yeah, almost impossible to save it from that. And
feels bad.
herO realizes it just insta-does. Doesn't only just now started his 1-1, as those Forges have been for a little bit here. Whoa, there's nothing here. Actually,
he's teaming for it.
Yeah,
teaming for the win.
He got himself 1 Forge already, and that is a nice pickup there. Really slowing down one of the upgrades.
It's so funny because like I feel like TY gets just kind of teamed in there, like
he made the wrong building.
Not being that hopeful that he will do that well. He actually does make a Twilight instead of a Forge. Very uncharacteristic. It's like, what is going on with herO, man?
Don't know, a little bit flustered.
He misplaced a pylon earlier in one of his series as well. Well, surprise, surprise. You got a lot of dead probes and more probes that can't mine as well. TY gaining incredible momentum here in that game. He's going to unpower the Robo.
Oh my god. And that's going to slow down the Colossus production. And also having wind of the fact that this is all going on while he's putting on this pressure is really helping him. The Stalkers can't collect that. And shock and awe goes on here in the Chinese crowd after what they're witnessing in this first game.
It wasn't Has this time, but it's a Terran against a Protoss.
There you go. We've got the new
jaw drops.
The new emote for Pig in this next chat. Now, he didn't realize it was a Twilight Council going down, so he let it finish. And now he's adding on another Forge. So the mistake has obviously been realized here by herO.
And remember, the way he played it when he played against Innovation was 3 Colossi, then straight into Immortals. He does go into charge here as well pretty quickly. I feel like the more important upgrade stayed alive, which is the ground armor level 1. So at least that's that, even though a +1 attack is also pretty useful as long as you don't go for full adepts. I think it's going to be better to have the armor up first. But yeah, TY in a very comfortable position here in this game. Producing Vikings, I mean, he knows his opponent pretty well. Like herO is known to get quite a few Colossi and play that style with Blink Stalkers where he's going to try to snipe the Vikings if need be. And actually from TY, we don't have a second eBay or an armory. So I'm almost feeling like he might want to pull SCVs here and do a big attack, which we haven't seen in forever.
No, indeed.
And I think we'll kill herO, by the way, in that game if he did it.
Yeah, it will be pretty powerful as long as he has the Viking count that he needs.
It's crazy that we don't see that at all anymore, by the way.
It's not like that kind of mid-game timing really went away in Legacy despite the economy changes. Concussive shells on the way now for the Marauders as well, so they can try and chase down some of these bulkier units as he's anticipating the Protoss trying to retreat away from the fight.
And it's going to be more upgrades, even though it's going to be a little bit late. But still, I think, yeah, there is a timing that you can hit before that. It's dangerous to attack with this amount of Vikings because it feels like it's just before this gets really much stronger.
Yeah.
But here, I think the key is, again, going to be herO not having vision in the area and maybe reacting a little bit late because that's not his entire army right there. He's got an army elsewhere on his natural, which he's going to need here to defend this.
And those Vikings are already going to work on one of the Colossus, so that Colossus goes down before it does anything at all to this Bio Force. Second one's going to be coming along. Blink forwards from the Stalkers on the right-hand side where the Zealots charge in against this Bio. Not too bad, but the second Colossus does end up falling.
He can land the Vikings.
That's a lot of damage being done to this Protoss Force with the Bio, bringing it down. There's the Vikings as well for the support fire.
He targeted the sentry here. Beautiful target by TY, who I think is going to take game number 1 here with some sick timing and micro.
Brilliant stuff here. Really pushing on towards this third base. Overcharge goes down on one of the pylons, trying to push this back as much as possible, but herO doesn't have much supply left to his name. 27 army supply against the 72 as TY tries to rally more of the forces forwards here into the battle.
Yeah, TY at the back of this, getting more upgrades, expanding again. herO trying to hold on, but he's just Stalkers against Balders and way too many units.
And Liberator sieges up as well here to solidify himself this ground and trying to push onto this. The Assimilator goes down. Nexus being worked on now. herO has a timer above his head. Not easy to hold on against this, as once again the Liberator repositions, claims himself perfect ground here. The Nexus is going to end up falling, and if herO can't save this with the probe pull-up, blinks forwards with the Stalkers to try and get to the Liberator, but it's not enough. The ground force goes down, and herO GG's out. TY takes game number 1.
What a clean game here from TY. As close to perfect DT defense as you're going to get against somebody as good as herO. Loses 4 SCVs to the first 2 DTs. Good cleanup behind his good turret location. Great counter-attack. That second steam. Very few players would have actually gone for that. You know, a lot of players, I think, would have been very happy with sniping or cancelling the third Nexus. TY is like, nope. Let me just kind of steam in there like a crazy madman and kill everything that I can. In that case, that was a very important forge. That made herO fall behind on upgrades compared to where he should have been. And then behind this, the drop in the main was so sick as well. Right in the corner, use steam, you go right for these probes, and he created so much chaos, got a supply lead, exploited it.
It's not like just getting the Forge alone created the chaos, it's that it put herO on a slight tilt to then throw down another Twilight Council. So his extra upgrades were even slower off the back of that.
Because, by the way, that's definitely something you notice as it finishes. In your mind, you started the Forge, you look later, you're like, what? Did you just make a second Twilight Council?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be one of the world's best players. This is unacceptable, Kailars.
TY, our current reigning Intel Extreme Masters champion, looking poised for another final. And considering the result that we just saw from him against herO, it could be a reality. Let's get into game number 2. It's going to be on Abyssal Reef here for our semi-final, our first semi-final of the day. Day number 4 here at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. As we have, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, the Intel Extreme Masters Prince himself, representing Root. It is herO. No smiles now, all business for herO. And down at the bottom right-hand corner, in the red, representing Team Splice, it is TY.
If herO's the smiling assassin, then he's TY the neutral assassin.
Just blank.
The poker face assassin.
Yeah. I call him the $300,000 man, my friend. He got a lot of money.
How materialistic of you.
Absolutely. TY, no emotion. Give me them bucks.
I wonder what he did with his money, actually.
Gives it to his parents, no doubt.
Probably,
being Korean.
And who knows, maybe he went crazy and bought a Lamborghini.
Yeah? Nah.
Driving around Seoul, like he owns this place.
I like the idea of the complete juxtaposition of a duo life. You see them in game, calm, stoic, in command, out of game, wild cards, just all over the place.
We've seen herO skip a couple scouts here beforehand, and I really like when a player does that, when, you know, they show that image of not wanting or not willing to be scouting as much, but then correct it in the next games, because that's when somebody is going to pick up on that and try and surprise you, you know, with something like a proxy. So far against TY, I think herO's fully aware of the potential of TY of proxying something. I mean, it happened in the game 1, right? So herO's on top of his scouting. He's going very early here with that one probe, checking the gas timing, checking everything. If everything's in order.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just talked about Special using a bunch of proxies as well against Protoss and Nib in particular over at WCS Valencia. Special actually talks quite a bit with TY and kind of emulates him. And also, I might go as far as saying it's vice versa. You know, they both talk strategies and proxies and all that. So if you saw TY proxy a bunch, you can expect Special to also do it.
Yeah.
And in that case, vice versa.
Yeah, it feels like I mean, if you think about 2 years ago when you said that same sentence, that same kind of thought, people wouldn't really take it too seriously. But in today's modern age of StarCraft II, you know, with a lot of those guys living over in Korea, with knee being so prevalent as well, there's a lot more respect, I feel, between the Koreans and the non-Koreans when it comes to that kind of strategic
Even
thought.
before that, like, Cats so many times gave, like, you know, tips and tricks to top Koreans like Solar and Sue, and then we saw them use the exact things that you see out of Cats in like a GSL finals or in the previous rounds. And some and most of them, I would say, did pretty well as well and won them games.
Yeah.
So it's very common to see that stuff. And I mean, it's great to see like this exchange in top players from different regions.
Hydro was a big one as well that Cats was able to talk to a lot. But anyway, for now, going to be pushing back that initial Adept. Not cutting too much done there at all.
First Oracle gonna be on the way here. And TY, he hasn't seen anything, but I mean, he saw that everything was normal up to this point. I'm pretty sure he's gonna realize decently quickly that, you know, there could be Oracles. The Widowmine position gonna be key, and he's gonna start counter dropping, I think, momentarily as well. Sees an Adept that does clean the SCV that he had across the map, trying to check for a quick third.
Block, don't let that in. Don't let it see anything else that's in your main base. That's why on earth would you? As the third base going down now for herO. So gonna have to protect that down the line. As the Oracle, is it just sat back at home at the moment?
That Widowmine.
Where is it?
It's like on the left-hand side of his natural. Praying that an Oracle flies through there. He's gonna place the second one elsewhere. That's a big gamble. If an Oracle was to fly into the main base of TY, he had nothing there for a second, but look at this. He goes for a Viking instead of a Medivac. So I think TY, if you look at what he's seen, he hasn't seen much. He just checked the 2 gas Protoss in his main base. His SCV got sniped at an Adept across the map. He's like, it's probably Stargate, let's be honest here. It's herO. Stays at home with everything. And herO, not having much information either, he's afraid of what there could be and what he thinks there might be, which is a Widowmine drop. So he stays home with the Oracle and thinks. So both players, like, so meta heavy, trying to really anticipate what the opponent's doing, you know, down to the smallest little adjustments.
Yeah.
And that's going to mean passiveness here early on in this game.
And it's the small things. Like, we saw herO yesterday going up against Widowmines with Phoenix as well. And he doesn't lift up the Widowmines to try and kill them with other Phoenix. No, he just lifts them up to interrupt the burrow of the Widowmine and then drops it right back down because he knows that Marines are going to be shooting at those Phoenix. He just wants to disrupt as much of the flow as possible on the side of the Terran. And TY now moving out with a Marine or two, just having a look around. Very passive start to this game.
Sweep them off their feet, their tiny little feet.
Like, well, I'm flying! For a moment. So Glaive's on the way as well as +1. Did +1 just finish or just get cancelled? I swear it just got
I think
cancelled.
he might have cancelled it.
Yeah.
Which would be weird. But I don't think he needed the gas for something else, but we'll see. That's a pretty quick robo given all things. It seems like herO, he doesn't want to bother with having only Revelation against Widowmines. I think he's mostly worried about multiple Widowmine drops in different mineral lines. So getting observers early, definitely going to help with that, or even intercepting something. Like, he places his observers really well. Starts Immortal production.
Yeah.
What?
Revelation goes on this army.
I think, okay, so he anticipated that push was going to come, and he's like, okay, I need units right now. But I'm surprised by the lack of additional gateways there. This is such a strong push. Even the Death talked about this on Abyssal Reef here. You can fully expect TY not to overextend and to go for the great push that this is by standing there behind the middle line, sieging tanks, making them synergize with Liberators eventually.
Some stasis wards as well. Missile throw gets thrown down to try and get this position under wraps.
A turret as well. So smart.
Yeah.
herO has to transfer to the third base right now, but he's not doing it.
Picks up one of the Widowmines. The second one already went off against this, though. Actually, the siege tanks being picked up is a really great move here for herO to start this off. Lifts up the Marines, takes them into that natural location, while the Phoenix is still working at the siege tank, but still losing a few probes in the process.
Yeah, very good defense actually by herO. He just kind of jumped in there. He might have only had 3 gateways, but he didn't miss a single beat with those Warpins. He's going to try to drop some more Marines, but I think those are doomed.
Yeah, almost getting that medevac. At least he'll clean up these Marines. They can't get much done at all. Now that he realizes he's completely cleaned this up, he's going to start his +1 again. herO is in a good spot here in game 2.
Maybe that's why he canceled +1. He wanted to start an Immortal ASAP. He was able to do that. And I mean, when you have Immortal to help support here, your Adepts like this, it's always going to be a great unit, even against Marines in this case, because the Immortal is going to be left safe in the back. TY again with yet another single Medivac drop, trying to do some damage. And Phoenixes are across the map right now.
Do you think you underestimated how quick the third was? That's the first time he's actually just seen that, and it's
No. I think he knew about it.
Yeah?
It's just so much better to push the natural anyway.
Okay.
And the damage was done by TY. Even though like he was a great defense by herO, there was still a little bit of damage done.
All right, well, more barracks being added on the other side as TY's trying to get himself his 3 base up and running. We had a Warp Prism filled up with some Adepts going over to the right-hand side now. As it gets hit by the Widowmine. That's a bit unfortunate there, but overall, it will be flagged. So it's a bit difficult for him to get much damage done with that right now.
Yeah, in the meantime, TY being on 3 bases now, and with that about even walking. Oh my god, the Phoenixes. We need to get out. Yeah, I think this is quite all right for TY, even though he's behind in supply. As much as his income is equal or superior, he's going to get a ton of units out. And I think try and just keep on doing big attacks, you know, try to stretch herO out of position. Those Widowmines, they're really going to start adding up. And he's soon going to reach the critical mass where it's really hard to fight with Phoenix Adepts against. So herO in this case is already on top of his follow-up tech. He's going for a Robo base, second Robo, but it takes time to finally reach those units. And I wonder if TY might try and hit the timing before those are there.
First Widowmine grabbed 4. Another pickup there means that he can't get anything done at all. So
I don't like this by TY. He was counting on herO really making a big mistake there and being completely out of position. But herO having this many Phoenixes, like just a single Medivac with Widowmines is almost never going to work there.
Fully cleaned up. Not the greatest trade for TY. Another one has actually burrowed. He wanted to pick that up previously, but
he did get a couple probes though, which is keeping herO low on the walker count. Like TY is 68 walkers against 61. This is a really big deal. I mean, at the end of the day, you still need to beat your opponent's army. Adepts are going to come in there, and the Warp Prism tries to fly into the main. I think that's going to be shut down on time.
Well, at least the Adepts get out. Now the Warp Prism's sacrificed, but so are the Adepts. They're going to try and get as many workers as possible. 5 or so go down. Warp Prism falls as well, or flies up, depending on how you look at it for Abyssal Reef.
What goes up must come down, except on Abyssal Reef.
Yeah, what goes up must go up. Again.
In flames, in water.
That's right. Speaking of flames, that Widowmine is able to connect with some of those Adepts. Not going to do too much, as another base is going to be on the way for TY. So
I love that one depot, by the way, by TY on the right-hand side right now. Isn't that the sickest thing?
For the spotting?
Yeah.
Very cool.
A Warp Prism will almost always go through there. Or at the bottom below the natural where there's like a turret, but I guess he could make the same kind of depot on that left-hand side base from his natural. Yeah, right there, like even a little lower than this. Great. I mean, it's amazing. Honestly, like we keep saying it, but the games in this tournament, the level has been absolutely insane. It's like we've got a mini GSL going there.
Absolutely.
And I'm loving every moment of it.
They've been brilliant. And these Adepts going to try and shade on in. And there's no full wall up here by the supply depots. There was an army that was moving towards to defend, but they've given up their job.
The supplies.
Yeah. TY always seems to have a fantastic economy and builds it up almost always before his opponent, but in this game, you know, herO's kind of evening things out a little bit here and there with the 9-10 workers now going down, thanks to the Adepts.
Okay, herO completes 2-1 here, which is nice against the 1-1 of TY, but TY already has 2-2 on the way. So if that can complete and he then takes a fight, that would be really good for TY. But when you look at the armies and the supply here for both players, it feels like Terran is supposed to attack before that. Unless herO wants to try and hit a timing, where there is a lot of Colossi before there are enough Vikings. So it's kind of funny because it feels like both of them need to attack.
Yeah.
Whoever would attack would be maybe at a little bit of a disadvantage because of defender's advantage. But I feel like they all, at this point, they are almost clashing in the middle of the map. And I think TY is the one that would be better off waiting in this case, actually. Because he's going to add up more Ghosts, more Liberators and Vikings. And the 2-2 is a big game changer when you have an army this big.
Depends on the angle of which the Vikings come in as well against those Colossi. If they can do damage to them. I mean, it's already getting themselves one of the EMPs very quickly here as the EMPs land on a lot of this army. Second Colossus ends up falling, and 2 have already gone down without them doing much damage to the bio at all. It's the same story as game number 1 here, as herO is going to get battered backwards.
And there was no Warp Prism to reinforce either, so herO is running with his tail between his legs right now. TY is going to be on the offense. He's got so many Vikings left over, he can take out the one single Colossus so easily, and 2-2 complete. This is just perfect.
TY looking for a killing blow over towards maybe the 4th base now. Gonna bring down these rocks, try and bust up this ramp. And he knows that he brought down the Colossus number so high.
A couple of SCVs are trapped in his main base right now. TY is going to have to fix that as he's trying to leave with the command center as well. Abandon ship and take a new base, but I think the attack might just seal the deal anyway. TY has so much. It's going to be such a difficult hold here for herO.
This could hurt. How many Colossi does he have at the moment? He only has 1. The 5 Immortals behind that. 1 Disruptor, 2 Disruptors now being mixed in against that Bio Force.
Why is TY pulling back?
I'm not sure. Against just Stalkers, but he catches a few on the retreat.
I think he's worried about overcharge and maybe a Colossus reproduction or even Disruptor. He's kind of anticipating that, but he's going to finally set up those Liberators.
This is my land now as TY starts encroaching onto herO's territory itself. Stalkers go down. It's not the best little choke point for herO to fight into.
Yeah, Liberators are going to have to be M-Canning-esque KLRs, and even...
Yeah.
I mean, even if he shoots that, as long as TY sees it, all he has to do is pull back to the safety of Liberators. 5 DTs being whopped in. And I think what may be a desperation attempt, unless he wants to add Archons to his army. Okay, he's morphing a couple of Archons there. herO trying to get as many units as he can. He's maxed out, and I think he's going to take the fight here in a second, Kailaris.
He's being a bit careful, dropping the scan, realizing that the Disruptors are there. The Archons are stuck at the moment. He has to break them out there, as now the Liberators have set themselves up in this choke. EMPs go down there on the Archons at the very front of things. Very even army supplies at the moment. The Colossus ends up falling. There was no Colossus range during all of that, as the Vikings here are going to get pushed back for a moment against those Stalkers, but there's too much bio at the moment. The Purification Overs haven't done enough. The swinging from the top there, from that bio to help the things out, and even the Vikings landing as well. TY takes an army supply advantage, pushing this back, focusing down the Immortals, with the Stalkers at the moment just killing off a little bit of that bio. It's so blow for blow here, not much left, and the Immortal walks away after killing all the bio. That was way too close.
I'm out of here, I'll be back. TY is going to be back though as well, because even though herO had a miracle defense there, TY took a huge supply lead. He's got 1 more expansion right now. He's on 5 bases. I mean, the main base might not, obviously, but he's working on that 6th base down there. And herO is in so much trouble. It's really starting to look like TY will go up 2-0, and he's looking just dominant in this matchup.
I can't believe how close that fight was. Just no more units on the ground at all. With
Was
one
it,
Immortal on 10 health. Was it though? All right, calm down.
It was a sick defense, but TY definitely came out ahead. Better production behind this. It's so much harder to replenish Colossus production in this case, or even like Disruptor. Even though I think herO preserved like 1 or 2 Disruptors, which is nice, but realistically, like I said, these guys are not supposed to eat Purification Novas. And here's like one of the best attempts that you can have at a comeback with a couple DTs, buying time, slicing SCVs up. But in this case, it's almost doing TY a favor, because he's not that far from maxing out, and if he gets a bigger army than he already had, I don't even want to imagine what's going to happen. Like, it's going to be an absolute slaughter that one fight.
Across these bases, they'll have enough mules. As much as this is a planetary fortress, he'll have some energy banked up. This one can quite easily go into it if he wants. 3 Vikings at any time. Upgrades coming along for TY now at the moment too. He's really in the driving seat.
And herO can't afford right now to go for 3-3 either, so it's just a matter of time before TY completes that 3-3. Even if TY doesn't take a cost-effective fight here, he's just so far ahead in supply that behind this, he's going to be all right. That one Immortal, he came back, but not in the best of shapes.
No, not at all. Purification Over goes out. It's normally look at the supply, but it's look at the production tab right now, because that tells a big, big tale here. herO at the moment, trying to push back against this. He has enough firepower in the Colossi. He should be able to save this position at the moment, because there's not much bio to fight against this.
Yeah, herO's army is bigger right there, but it doesn't even matter. Like, TY is trading. And he's trading his important units, even though some of the Colossi held up there. herO, we've seen him having some miracle defense and comeback earlier against Innovation.
A little bit overzealous there by TY moving into that fight, it seems.
So yeah, with 3-3 completing, plus 2 ship weapons for the Vikings, it's like those Colossi are going to evaporate instantly. TY actually remade SCVs here, 77. You can tell he's a Brood War player.
Absolutely, just keeps it going.
Still a little bit of a baby.
Oh, you're funny. And gonna have that +3 armor on the way now for Protoss. Wow, it's very, very late.
Yeah, TY is moving across the map here with a lot of bio, 3 medivacs as well. How dare you start level 3 ground armor, herO? Punishment is imminent.
And he's gonna get right on top of this. Dark Templar is actually working against this, but it will be scanned and brought down very, very quickly. and this army will die off. But TY looking for openings, drawing his opponent's army completely out of position to work on the very fresh base, very important base. Dark Templars trying to shut it down, and they will be able to push this away before this actually dies off by the looks of things. This is a great little choke, though, that TY is trying to exploit against the mineral line. Drops the scan, but he realizes it's 3 DTs and has to get away.
2 Marines get out and will live to tell the tale here of the Nexus that survived, the one that got away. No +3 attack upgrade here for TY. And it's going to be a 3-3 upgrades. Oh no, actually he already has it. He made it earlier, I kind of skipped that. No, the 3-2 upgrades, not as bad as I thought for herO. 3-2, but +2 sheep weapons here makes these Vikings like basically gods against these Colossi. And in this case, we've even had, I mean, when you have 4 Colossi, it seems like a good number, but against this number of Vikings, and how good TY is at kiting,
yeah,
the Colossi are not even meant to actually hit anything. He just pulls back with the bio on the ground, the Vikings get rid of all the Colossi, and then he lands the Vikings and take the fight, and herO types out.
And one of the big problems for herO, right, is the fact that his anti-air really doesn't exist that much. He's got 13 Stalkers, but that's not enough to stop the Vikings from doing their job before they get it done. He's 1 Archon. That's not going to really do the job either. I suppose something like Storm down the line would have helped, but his economy has been constricted a little bit. He's always been on the back foot when it comes to most of these fights, so he hasn't had the time to really get himself in the proper position against those Vikings from stopping them. Blinks forward with some Stalkers, and they will take the brunt of that fight and die off fast.
Yeah, Archon's being added on here, and actually TY, he had a lot of ghosts earlier, but now he's only got 3, which actually is like the proper number. Oh my god, that Prism will get intercepted there. The Marines looking to try and bring herO out of position, as the main attack will be towards the top side here. Oh my god, this Colossus position is so bad!
Perfect positioning for the Vikings, nevertheless, as the Stalkers try and blink against them, but that's 2 Colossi already falling very quickly. Disruptor's going to be added on. He knows he can't go up against the Vikings anymore. Any Colossi that are going to be added on are going to be ripped to shreds.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea here to go into Disruptor, but when you don't have Colossi against this army, or in this case he has 2, but they're pretty much dead meat, like I said, it's going to be so hard for herO to make this work somehow. Look at the army supply, 119 to 104, and TY is finally ready to put an end here to Abyssal Rift and go up 2-0.
Looking for a little run by with these Zealots, gets himself on a command center, but that's all he'll really get down towards that position at the moment. Well, a blink forwards here by the Stalkers, and they're going to get absolutely chewed apart.
Patience S with his control, Kailaris.
Easy peasy at the moment for TY down towards that bottom left. Now he's opened this base, really put himself between the bases, so herO has no choice but to try for something. Even the probe's trying to retreat out, but, well, you remember that meat grinder from a few days ago? That's what that was.
Yeah, not going to be able to get anywhere. I mean, this counter-attack is not even that scary. Like, herO could literally kill 40 SCVs. I don't think TY would even mind that much. Finally, the big fight is there.
Down. Yeah, here come the Purification Novas maybe. Here comes one into that Bioforce. Doesn't even pop off. And now it's going to be a second one going through, but really doesn't get much at all. TY's control is good. He focus fires down the important Purification Nova Disruptors and will deny them.
So many Terrans would have just gone for it, landed the Vikings, but TY is still so wary of the Disruptor shot. He dodged another big one.
He scanned
and yet again. And regroups with the rest of his army. The Liberators could win this game by themselves at this point.
And just set up those liberation zones, push this army back at the moment. A few units die off on the retreat, and TY now doubles herO supply.
Yeah, and TY, he hasn't seen that base at 12 o'clock, but I'm pretty sure he knows it's there, and it might be his next target after he double checks maybe on the left-hand side that there is a base or not there. TY just incredible, and herO taps out. TY goes up 2-0 here in the semifinals, and it's going to be 1 map away for making the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai Grand Finals.
The Prince of the Intel Extreme Masters going up against our Katowice champion. herO might be just usurped at this point, Todd.
He may be a new prince very soon here.
Maybe,
as herO gets poisoned at a din. What was it?
Poison in the wine, Todd. TY staring down another grand finals here for the Intel Extreme Masters, 1 map away. He looks very difficult to kill here. Just once you get into the later stages of this game.
These guys are all Protosses.
they love
Look at the signs.
Timber. Who's Timber?
Either only cheering for herO or saying that Terran's OP. Oh, no, okay, this guy's not Protoss on the left.
All right, we're going to go to a short break here at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. When we return, herO goes up against TY, game number 3.
TY leads 2-0, but it doesn't really tell the story. Those were some really close games.
Yeah, they really have been. herO has had some moments of brilliance. That first game and the first defense, we all thought he was dead, and then the most insane micro to keep himself alive. And then in game 2, he was looking good, but just slowly fell apart to the class of TY.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed with his whole early game on Ascension, because the moment at first adept, we often say early game, there's no room for mistakes. First adept just shade through, that was supposed to be a cancel, loses half HP, but then every shot he had was perfect. Whether it was on the bunker, on the SCV, or on Cyclones, he did it all right. And I think he got in a really good position. Obviously, he was greedy, right? Because he was doing everything at once. But I think the Dark Templars were supposed to buy the time for him to get away with that greed. And he missed a couple of pickups. Like, herO is good enough to have a Warp Prism on the edge of the base. Scan goes down, you pick up the Prism. We all say, oh, because that's really good. And you do that a couple of times, and then by the time that TY can finally run across the map, I think then there is 2 Colossus, an Observer in place, and maybe 1-1 upgrades are done. I think he just lost a few too many Dark Templars. 2 were clear pickups, and I know that sounds weird, we're nitpicking on 2 Dark Templars, but I really think that changes the game, because that would buy him the time that he needs. I think game number 2 was awesome, but TY, he showed how to play some mid to mid-late game PvP.
He just knows how to play StarCraft, man.
Yeah,
like
he's
every decision he makes, he gets in the, like in the early game, once his initial tank push got kind of slaughtered, I was sitting here with you, I'm like, I think that herO just wins from here, right? He's going into Colossus deck, he has 3 bases up and running, full probe saturation. What are you supposed to do if TY can come back from any situation?
Well, herO still made some mistakes, though. He forgot extended thermal lance. We saw some fights where he just didn't even use his disruptors when he had like 4 or 5 of them, and he's just losing some fights when he really should put up a better fight, right? You know, he should not be going down 30, 40 supply. He should be staying even. He should be able to stay in the game a bit more.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys. I mean, he had a solid early game hold, because that is a gnarly push to hold, and a lot of games actually end there. Yeah. He shut it down. The attack without thermal lance, obviously very painful. I think he ended up losing 3 Colossus, didn't really kill anything. But he still turned it into a game, still made a lot of good plays. But what I love about TY, and you pointed this out while we're watching, I think a lot of Terrans, and I normally say that this is all right. If you have like 80 SCVs, right, and you lose 15, don't rebuild them, because you already have your infrastructure, you have 3 upgrades. So the only money you need is going into your army, and at this point 60 SCVs is fine, and I kind of still believe in that, but at the same time he's like, no, I want to be at 75, and from that point on he's just trading, he's picking units off left and right, and you can see herO, he's struggling more and more to max out, and TY is like, I'm always maxed out, baby. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do right now, and yeah, he played that awesome, not too slow, but not over eager either. I mean, masterclass of TVP.
It's maybe the best player in the world right now going up against herO. Hopefully he can take a game coming up so we don't have just a 10-0 TY in that finals. It's a bit too scary. It looks like it is time, though, to go back to that game. Claris and Todd, take it away.
That's right, the reigning and defending champion of the Intel Extreme Masters goes up against the 3-time champion in herO. However, TY 1 game away from the grand final to make it 2 in a row. That would be spectacular if he was able to do so. Up to the top right-hand corner in the blue, representing Team Root, it is herO. All concentration has to be on this one map. And down to the bottom left-hand corner in the red, 1 game away from the grand final, representing Team Splice, it is TY.
I'm really starting to feel that TY versus Beyond Grand Finals, Claris.
Ooh, that'd be good.
And only if my pep talk was good enough could Beyond take it. Because TY is just unstoppable right now.
Did you give him a pep talk?
No, I said yesterday when I was on the desk, I was like,
oh,
I don't think that Beyond needs a pep talk before he reaches the finals, and only against TY. If he was to meet herO in the finals, I don't think he needs it. Only against TY wouldn't need it. So I'm not going to waste it just yet.
Okay. But you would give him a talk.
I feel pretty bad, yeah. If he makes the finals against TY, for sure.
Fantastic. We'll have to film that.
And it'd be pretty easy, too.
Yeah?
I'd just ask him, like last time, who's the best Terran? Then he'd say TY. I'd be like, nope. He'd say like me, and then I'd say, yeah. That's what happened last time. That was enough to give him back his confidence, Claris.
I guess so. All right, Pylon going down for a proxy here. herO's had enough of the normal builds. And I mean, even by, some definition, this is kind of normal nowadays from someone like herO. likes to try and throw down that Stargate, get in there as fast as possible. The SCV, though, is already in, and having a look at how much gas is coming in. So he has to be wary.
Yeah, I think TY is going to fully realize what's happening there. And actually, proxying this close. Yeah, look, he's already about to scout it before the Stargate even starts.
Hi.
Like, I mean, even though you can get additional pylons, this is about as bad as it gets here for herO. Behind this, we've got a reactor already. The fact that it's not a Reaper as well, like, this Marine will get to work right away. This is going to be really bad news here for herO. He's going to commit. He's very hard to cancel from there.
Yeah, I think he was trying to throw a pylon out of the range of the Marines so he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the SCV being there now, he can see.
Usually you just get that one extra pylon and you start the third one as well to make sure that nothing gets cancelled up to the point that your Oracle is out.
Oh, the probes find a little position to start zapping at that SCV.
He's already almost finished.
Yeah.
The sickest thing would be if he made the turret here. But then I guess Overcharge might laugh at it and kill it.
Yeah, that would be funny though. All right, here comes the Adepts at least to save this situation.
Adepts makes this like such a strong push. The fact that TY went for CC on the high grounds and plays so defensive, I just love the position that he's going to be in. But remember that herO behind this, he went for Nexus down the ramp. He already he saw that this was scouted. He's like, okay, there is no point in committing. He's going to be ready defensively. I'll just play an economic game behind this. I'm not going to commit that much to aggression.
Thankfully for TY, the SCV sees what's going on and gets a bit of information. Bunker is not only there to protect the Marines at the front, but also protect that area in general, because obviously that Oracle, if it can't get SCVs, it might look for Marines.
Oracles have to take what they can, Carlisle.
That's right.
That's how it goes.
The beggars of StarCraft II at the beginning of the game.
The beggars that can beat the living hell out of a lot of people.
Oracles, yeah, they can't be choosers, my friend. Oracles can't be choosers. They got to just go with whatever they can get.
Cyclone about to come out there, and herO's actually waiting for one more Oracle. And usually what you see from Protoss is that they'll try to circle around the Terran base, make sure that they don't fly into a Widow Mine. And herO right now is actually flying inside of TY's base. Just kind of trying to see what's up. If you get in range of the Widow Mine, you can actually get out on time. And if you have two Oracles, you can always do this. Actually activate Pulsar Beam, go inside even of that turret, and click on SCVs one by one and take them out. And you just lose the shields for it, spend your energy, and get an economic lead.
That's right. Here comes the Cyclone as well as Marines to try and shoo these away, at least on the left-hand side. Kill off this and at least get themselves a pylon, which could hurt herO in the long run. So get that burst. Nice. But Blink is already on the way behind this here for herO, while he's got himself 31 workers to 27 at the moment. So a little bit of an economical advantage, especially since the second command center wasn't in position just yet.
Yeah, I wonder if herO might do something really aggressive with his Blink in the back, especially with the way the games have been going, right? He's down 0-2. It was like longer games with like bigger armies and all that. It's just not working out for him right now. TY gets the right amount of Vikings. He takes the fights perfectly. So if there is even starting to be a little bit of a doubt in herO's mind, he might start playing a whole lot more aggressive. And yeah, look at how many Stalkers he already has. He's going to start moving across the map. Obviously, ideally, you need a pylon and a gateway across the map so you can get quicker warp-ins. And remember MC, when he started doing this in WCS Europe? Back then, nobody else ever did this. Everybody would go for Robo and Observers, but he actually synergized Oracles extremely well with Blink Stalkers. Because you can use Revelation, you can blink everything back, and very rarely will Terran have enough to defend against this. It feels like you will need a lot of tanks, a lot of bunkers. Guess what TY doesn't have in this game? A lot of tanks or bunkers. He starts 2 tanks, but those are going to finish very late. And I think herO is looking pretty good right now. We'll see if he can make this work.
Bunkers are on the way up here. TY knows he has to get this defense set up before those rocks actually go down. Blink 10 seconds away from completion and looking for an opportunity. Not the easiest path here for the Stalkers to kind of bounce between the natural and the main base. As a Forge is going to go down behind this. herO realizes that the hold at the front should be quite strong.
I wonder if he's going to use the Stasis Ward. He's setting that up in the back here, not letting a single Marine get there to try and trigger that by itself. SCVs could have done that. He's sent SCVs forward.
Blinking back some of these as well. They actually trigger that Stasis Trap here, so it's going to be just Stalkers against this at the moment. Another Stasis Trap goes down. A bit of a weird spot, actually, considering where it is. I don't think the Marines are ever going to go over there at the moment.
Yeah, no, with one tank being out now, TY is going to look good to finally defend this. He lost a couple SCVs, and herO behind this. He's actually not committing at all here to the aggression. He went for the 2 gases on the natural pretty quickly. He could very easily transition into charge and high Templar and storms. And I think that would be one of the best things here that he can do. Look, He's going to get further ahead economically by forcing this command center back. But what a sick game. After the initial opener, for herO to be able to do this well here, you can tell this guy is a champ. He stayed composed and he's really playing to the best of his capability, killing supply depot. He's going to be supply blocked.
Moto! I mean, bringing out another tool in his belt here has been fantastic to see herO actually use this. And it's really putting TY behind right now. herO behind all of this is just macroing away. 3 gateways on the way, charge going down, +1 going down. It's getting increasingly harder here for TY to do anything.
Yeah, Liberators across the map was able to get a couple probes and chase the rest away. Every time I see this kind of game, I'm like, man, I want to use Oracles and Blink Stalkers together, and then you try to pull it off. It's like your Oracles gets blown up and the game ends. But herO, that was so good, such good execution here. And the Templar Archives here, I wouldn't be surprised if he was dropped very soon.
It's funny how he feels more composed in this game than he did in the first 2, to be honest. It's as if kicking him has angered him, and he's kind of rallied back here in this 3rd game.
herO actually just went into a truckload of gateways. And even Whopping Sentries right now trading a couple Blink cooldowns here for units. I can't believe TY is moving across the map with this army, by the way. That's going to get slaughtered here in a second.
Those Stalkers aren't going to kill that Liberator, and at the same time, this is pushed across.
Okay, Liberator wins the fight against the 1 Stalker.
There's 2 initially, and that final one will come in, Blink, and clean that up, getting them back to work, those probes.
Guys, there's so many gateways here that herO added on. His production is going to be absolutely bonkers here in this game.
How many has he got at the moment? So 6 with an extra one, just
8 total.
Okay.
And look at how many Stalkers that is, plus Sentries with Guardian Shield. Like, obviously, you can't fight against tanks supposedly, but I feel like at this point, herO is starting to have so much that he might actually go for an engagement. If he had a depth to shade inside of the tanks, that would be so good. But,
he can't get too over-eager against that position though, at the moment. As much as, yes, he has a slight advantage, it's 53 armor supply against 49 with siege tanks, as you mentioned.
And TY is so low econ that I think if herO goes for a high Templars and just plays it right, TY almost can never win there. He would need like a miracle, because you can't go for Ghost when you have such low economy, right? And if you don't go for Ghost against high Templars, you're gonna have a pretty hard time unless you can do like some really good drops that are gonna save the game for you. So TY might be on the verge of losing his first map here in this Intel Extreme Masters, Skylars.
These units trying to catch them.
What?
Actually, those siege tanks are...
Where is this going?
Not very healthy. They're going to push this all the way back. And herO has to get on out of there. Those siege tanks don't have much bio with them, but doesn't want to take the trade.
herO was like not willing to trade Stalkers for tanks, but that's a decently strong push here that we see move across the map from TY. Army supply 65 to 73. That's about as close as it's ever going to be, because like herO will start taking on the further bigger and bigger leads. I love that. Getting with the Stalkers behind, catching off reinforcements. Oracles are going to play. Archons at the front. Oh, he traps an Archon with the rest of the army, but TY has already lost so much.
These units going to try and go into the main base here. TY out of desperation needs to make something happen, but I don't think he's going to be able to at all with this army. It all gets dropped. He gets crushed. GG. herO takes game number 3 and keeps himself alive here in this semi-final.
He tried to close the gates, but he found himself trapped with the rest of the army of herO, the Stalkers coming in from behind. And TY finally drops a map, God Can Bleed.
Absolutely. It really felt like, as I said, herO had more composure in this game compared to games 1 and 2. Took him getting riled up here in this semi-final to bring the better fight out of him.
It gave me a flashback of, you know, all those games on like Yonsu, Heavy Rain, and if you think about it, Defender's Landing does have like a couple of features like that. The fact that there is no ramp leading into the natural base. It's such a wide natural base. Obviously, you've got the cooling tower.
Oh, a little bit of a shake there as he was taking that drink. TY.
We need the in-control breakdown of the water drinking here on this one.
Like there was actually a shake is the thing. And that's... TY's got to keep himself composed off the back of that. I mean, when you're being hit with that kind of aggression from someone like herO, I can only imagine it will give you a little bit of jitters.
Out of StarCraft II.
Yeah, yes, pretty good, yeah.
That guy loves it.
They can't hear you, though. It's only the Chinese casters going out, my friend. I'm sorry. A lot of passionate fans here in China.
Yeah.
A lot of people here that have been really rooting for their favorite players. herO has been one of the big ones. A lot of signs, as you mentioned.
And to the few fans that didn't show up with their passion, it was reignited by the X-Master.
Absolutely. With his hand signals, getting them to cheer. Brilliant stuff. Proxima Station is going to be our next map, Todd.
Yeah, and remember that was the one map on which herO had a great defense against Innovation, and then counter-attack started trading super well at the third base. And TY definitely playing, taking it up a notch, I think, in this series in comparison to what we saw previously in the tournament in terms of PvT, playing extremely well that previous game. Maybe a little bit of a faux pas, we'll find out, Kailaris.
Let's get into it. Game at number 4. To the bottom left-hand corner, representing Root, it is herO. Bringing back game number 3. Feel that a lot of his success in this series could lie in that early stages of the game. And up to the top right-hand corner in the red, representing Splice, it's TY. That shake in between games 3 and 4 cannot get to him here in the semi-final.
herO with a very early scout here. Looking like he wants to go for a Nexus first, but make sure that he's at least sort of safe up against the TY, who is no stranger to proxies. And by proxies, I mean all kind of proxies. Obviously, this is one of the absolute worst maps for most proxies, but a proxy Reaper, definitely not one of the things that you can count out, especially when a Protoss could be going for a Nexus first, and herO is definitely one of those guys that will mix in one of those once in a while, especially in the best of 5. He will be happy to scout that everything's normal on the other side of the map here from TY so far.
Oh no, no! Run away! As the SCV and Probe flail their arms at each other, charging at one another.
Here comes that block from herO, making sure the command center cannot be thrown down earlier. TY is like, hell no. You know what?
I'm not having any of this.
Block it all you want right there. That probe is trapped and I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, that was cute. May as well. Just lift it up, get gone.
Get good.
Get good. Get good, Probe. He'll never get good. He's gone.
Wait, was that? Did he make a mistake, or is it me, or he took second gas before Cybercore? I feel like the only way I ever do this is if I forget to make Cybercore, and then I have a second gas on. I'm like, oh god, no, I forgot Cybercore. So it's a little bit late, but the fact that he had this probe across the map forced, or kind of forced, a Marine. So there is no Reaper, at least, you know, coming into his main base. So he's going to be safe for now. He's going to have a lot of gas. If herO ever wanted to go for a very easy target, that would be the time here. He's going to have so much gas to work with.
Yeah, that pylon on the right-hand side of his main base could be where that Stargate goes down if he sees fit. And then from there, TY might have to try and spot that out. He's getting a Starport pretty early, so, I mean, considering the build, at least, compared to, say, like a heavier barracks build. And then maybe he can sneak in with a medevac, maybe some Widow Mines, which, if there's an Oracle coming out, might have to keep the Oracle back at home.
Look how much supply room herO has, by the way, because of the Nexus first. Like, the Nexus comes out so early, it allows you to be, like, you know, out of 4d6 if you have the second pylon. So that gives him a lot of room to do all the stuff here for now. Like I said, he's going to have so much gas to get these Oracles that I'm pretty sure he wants to add on once again. And this time around, we'll have Widow Mines and Medivacs being made earlier from TY. The defense is always on point from herO, though it's not where he lost the game. It was later on, really, where there were big armies clashing, his Colossus composition just wasn't working. And there were just, like, enough Vikings every time from TY. Like, sometimes you see Terrans playing really well, but they fight too early before they have enough Vikings. They get crushed, and then, you know, they can't replenish the Viking count on time. Almost every single game in which herO's expands like this, which is, you know, all the time, even though in this case it was a Nexus first and very quick, he gets the gases on his natural very fast. There hasn't been much quick third bases. He went for it on Abyssal, but other than that, herO really seems to want to add on additional gases very quickly in those games.
Here come the Marines with an SCV in this medevac, so maybe he might look to make a bunker in some weird place, but I doubt that's going to happen here. herO would have something to say about that.
You saw the SCV in the medevac at Home Story Cup?
No, I didn't. What happened?
You need to see that. Okay. Jeff was like, why is there an SCV? And then the SCV gets dropped, or like he drops the units, tries to leave, leaves the SCV behind, and he just dies. And Jeff is just like laughing.
It's a little bit weird why it's there, but it gets sent in for a scout, I suppose.
Scare tactics.
Scare tactics, that's right. Did he see the Forge in the Twilight Council at the back?
No, he didn't. Attacking, man.
Dun, dun, dun.
I feel like this SCV attacking buildings like this is almost as if like you walked up to an MMA fighter on the street and like punched him in the back of the head.
Yeah. You just don't know who you're fighting. Like you don't know who
No,
the guy
you know,
is.
but you still go for it.
Oh, okay. yeah, that sounds like a legit thing to do. Third base on the way now for herO. 6-3 supply.
And again, a quick robo. It really seems like there is no more just mass targets units being pumped out.
Yeah.
I think the big problem with that is that Terran started adjusting if they knew that there were not going to be a robo early on and enough detection. And they started dropping a lot of Widow Mines in multiple mineral lines simultaneously, and that made it so hard to defend with just Oracles and air units without observers. And in this case, herO is just so good that he can even adjust really well by getting Immortals if he's getting attacked, like he did on Abyssal earlier. Actually, thinking back on it, I thought the defense was great and he was in a good position. For TY to have crushed him later on like that really goes to show that TY, in a longer game, on maxed out armies, even though, you know, Protoss used to be considered really favored, TY is just an absolute beast in those games.
I mean, the longer this game's going on for me, I am worried for herO. Like, if you're going in even against TY, I'm only concerned as he looks so fantastic in the later stages.
He's a pretty good StarCraft player, I think. That's one way to say it.
Yeah, that is true. There is going to be a Liberator on the way as well. At least the Phoenix can eventually deal with those if it's wanting to scoot around maybe the back for some harassment. So Phoenix would be a good answer. Where are these?
There it is, the punch to the back of the head. Never do that.
No, definitely not.
Walker count slightly in favor for herO with 9 more walkers. TY catching up though. Very consistent with his SCV production. You know, he's going to halt it here for a second to start turrets in every base, seeing how many Phoenixes there are.
The Liberator's moving on to the left-hand side now as Adepts at the front, just catching anything that they can, keeping TY or attempting to keep TY in his base. Liberator been spotted and even just swings around there. Ooh.
He gets to warp in, but there is enough bio there to get rid of his Adepts. Oh, the Phoenix is coming to try and save the day. Those Adepts are going to shade towards the natural now and start killing even more SCVs.
I don't know if this works though. They're trying to shut down some the third base, but
this is doing a lot.
Pushing back this at the natural as well. Nice start.
I think TY, that wall, or like the depots that he has on that pocket expansion.
Were they raised?
No,
lowered.
Did you see where they are placed? Yeah, look.
Ah, yes.
What are they really protecting?
Not much. Nothing, in fact. It's just kind of very superficial.
And no turret in the natural. On the other side of the map, Liberator will try and clean up some probes, but herO's the one that has done more damage here with 11 SCVs dying.
45 workers to 61 at the moment. If
no! One single Phoenix dies. That could have been 2. Nice split here by herO, the last second here. And +2 attack upgrade is now going to be on the way as well as Blink. More gateway is going to be added on here for herO. He's playing the exact same style that what we saw earlier on when he played against Innovation, but the timing from TY. Look at the size of this army here.
Yeah.
That is so much more than I think what Innovation had. And in this game, look at the production tab.
Yeah.
The 3 gateways are so late for herO. He made so many probes, and I think in terms of army, is he going to have enough?
He realizes he's trying to make pylons at the moment. It's desperation time here for herO.
He's feeling the pressure, Kalaris.
Flicking back and forth because not only is there going to be the army at the front, there's also a medevac with 4 Widow Mines heading down towards the bottom. He only has 4 Phoenix in this. His army, or 5 Phoenix, I should say. He would need to pick those up. He's actually retreating back to deal with this. This is the perfect move for herO to buy time, get those Adepts in there, and cause TY to retreat home.
Wow, herO, that's...
Oh my
if
God.
TY had attacked, herO might just have died. Widow Mine drops are going to kill a lot, but he's already lost 22 SCVs on the other side of the map, and more are going to die.
Cannon's going down here to try and deal with this because he just doesn't have the Oracles to go and revelate everything. 31 workers to 64 at the moment here. herO found himself the key opportunity to get himself back in this when the situation looked dire against TY's army.
The Warp Prism was finally shut down. I think it's go time here for TY. He has to go for it. Unless he wants to kind of sit back, remake all of those SCVs. He's making them 3x3 right now. I really feel like an attack would have been great there. He has so much army and so much Widow Mines in particular. He could have forced a really bad fight out of herO. Now he's letting herO catch up in supply. Look at the army down there.
Yeah.
71 to 58. Eventually herO will catch up, and you don't want that.
And one of the last tech choices he needs here, herO, is going down Robo Bay on the way so he can get himself up to the Colossi if he needs them. With the weakened economy of TY on the other side, it's going to be hard for him to get out the Vikings he wants while getting out some of the other units. And also, Phoenix aren't too bad at complementing the Colossi in turn. As trying to find a Liberator, now he finds it. This is perfect for herO.
You're a long way from home, young man. That was actually a Phoenix very low on hit points here. Could have turned around and maybe shut that down, but for now it's going to be Robo Bay being added on here for herO. who wants to go straight into, I think, what is going to be Colossus. And TY, I'm really surprised he chose to play it slow. Right now, he's not even focusing on the production of units. He's focusing on getting SCVs 3x3, replenishing that count. Can you get a turret already?
Oh my God, there's so much damage.
Can you get a turret, TY, please?
He'll finally chase them back. Can I please get a turret? He'll get that one. Oh, almost catching that Phoenix.
He needs that so badly. I mean, there was a Prism earlier in there.
Yeah.
Phoenixes making themselves at home. Never good news when that happens.
No, not at all. herO at the moment, supply advantage, warping in more units at the front. His army is really gathering strength, a lot of it, as the thermal lance upgrades on the way for these Colossi as well. Not out at the moment, but eventually they'll pop. And then
Liberator going all the way around. I like that because it's not super likely it will get spotted. Like there is a pylon on the left-hand side to try and spot here from herO, but if he misses that and that makes its way to his natural, he's going to start losing probes very quickly. It's always very challenging to properly react on time against this. These top players, though, definitely very good at it.
Hallucinated Phoenix go in to scout out what's going on because he does not have an Oracle, so no revelations.
Remember when people say that interesting is also another word for bad?
Yes.
StarCraft?
Yes.
That's an interesting move out here by TY.
Yeah, it's not going to do. That's one way to describe it.
I think he's setting up a trap. There is a huge minefield around his army actually right now. He's baiting him. Oh my God, huge Widowmine shot here. He's gonna take the shields off all of these stalkers. Oh my God,
this army
full of shots.
This army is still big. Only one Colossus with it. Looking for the EMPs, gets a lot of the sentries, and they can't do anything now. They're gonna have to back up.
There's not gonna be any Guardian Shield in that upcoming fight if herO will choose to go. Dude,
oh my God.
That's the cue here for the Liberators to start on doing a lot. And TY, just like that, getting some good trades here, looking to try and catch up in supply.
Absolutely. Looks forward to picking up one of these, but he catch up in the workers quite a bit as well.
We talked about this in the last game. Even Roddy mentioned that you shouldn't be remaking those SCVs unless you're going to be getting trades all the time, but this is not one of those games here. TY is behind in supply. Maxing out on pure army here would be a better choice. And look at this right now. 2-2 on the way, concussive shells, more ghosts, and another starport. If TY just maxes out from there and herO allows him to do that, herO's going to be in a lot of trouble in the upcoming fights.
I mean, I was almost concerned about the timing of the Ghost Academy when it came down for TY because he didn't have that much of a heightened economy, but he's bought the time for him to really get the ball rolling here, has TY. So as much as herO's about to max out, TY is by no means out of this. He's going to reposition his factory to scout out and also maybe try and find some extra harassment options somewhere, but there's no more Liberators, so that won't be happening anytime soon. It's all going to be about the frontal engagement. The big army wants to drop has now been loaded up to go to the left-hand side.
Yeah, this is also really great to do that. One single medivac is not a big commitment. Like if it gets shut down, then not the end of the world. You can replenish that very easily. But a lot of the time, you're gonna be able to surprise the Protoss and kill a lot of probes with this, or even some key buildings like forges. Occasionally, some very overeager stalkers there.
Yeah.
Oh, the observer!
Oh, the observer!
Second scan.
All gone. All gone. All right. So
58 SCVs. This maxed out army of Garen is going to be incredible, KLRs.
He has no observer, and he's not. Is he making one? Because if he's not, he's going to have a really hard time against these ghosts.
I feel like it's one of those games where like you don't realize that you're lacking observers right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Oh no, he doesn't even have cloak for the ghosts.
It's only good. Okay, it's going to be 2-2 against 2-2. And ideally, when you're going for this kind of game here as herO, you want to be ahead in upgrades. I'm feeling like TY is doing this, guys.
Yeah.
As I say that. Vikings flying sort of the army.
Here comes the drop though, hitting a healthy base at the moment, and this Bioforce will push this back. Let's say he's replenishing the observer, but he doesn't have cloak anyway. More Vikings are being added on. High Templars are getting worked into this composition too now.
I'm surprised TY is being so timid because he has so many ghosts, but here I think it is finally going for the attack. And that's a pre-storm timing here. If he can hit that, TY trying to make this game a chaotic one, sending units everywhere, even at the bottom of the map right now. He's got units scouting for a potential Nexus. The revenge of the Marines against the Phoenixes.
Get him, get him, get him. And we'll be able to bring those down. So that will open up that avenue later on if he wants to go for a drop. TY now takes a supply advantage for the first time in the last 10 minutes.
Those EMPs are going to have to be beautiful now because TY didn't go for the timing that I thought he might go for. Like these cannons kind of discouraged him. There is 6 High Templars, all with storms.
Got an EMP. Got to hit the EMP. He sees where they are.
If you ever seen supply plummeting, usually it was because of these guys.
Yep. So how are the ghosts going to fare?
He's keeping them clubbed up, which is a very liable way to play with this. Because the EMPs can land on top of all of this.
Doesn't know where the ghosts are. They were under the Vikings there for a second. Stalkers blinked forward. Here come the ghosts, looking for a shot. They're trying to go for the EMP. Oh, they're able to catch so many of them in the process. That's going to have to be these High Templars as well as the army backing up here. TY finds another opening.
These cannons are super sick, by the way, because TY cannot even go around them. He cannot go possibly at the bottom. That would take way too long.
Finds double drop, going over towards the gold base. The army's here to reinforce pretty fast, though.
Here's what he can do to avoid these cannons plus the army. Yeah. Go down there with everything, take out these Phoenixes, and then drop potentially the main base of herO. Counter drop here with Zealots and Whopping about to happen in the main base of TY, who's maxed out. So he won't even have that many units here to defend.
Oh my god. And everything needs to come back here to really defend against this. He'll get himself the War Prism. Could even land the Vikings here against this if he wanted, but the Bio's going to be enough to bottle these Zealots up, kill them off. He's still got the Liberators set up. Here's Cloak now coming in for the Ghost. That would be perfect for him to get in. But at the same time, there is no Observer once again. It died off. Yeah,
attacking the Armory here, I feel kind of reminded TY they need to start cheap weapons. Shields level 1 here, going to finish for herO, whose supply is already kind of plummeted. He does have a bit of a bank here that he needs to spend, but again, big EMPs landing. TY has been so clean with every single EMPs that he's landed.
Importantly, there's only 2 High Templars. He's about to warp in 4 more right now.
They won't have Storm for such a long time.
Yeah.
It might be the cue for TY to finally get... I think TY wants to get rid of those cannons in the middle and then do a big push on that middle base. But herO is really not letting that happen right now. He's splitting well enough and defending against the multiple drops just with units warping and sending units from the middle of the map.
What a game, Todd. What a game here for game number 4.
What a game.
TY's fought himself back in. 62 workers. Army supply is pretty even as well. And these High Templars are so important here for herO. GT's now going to wander in. No missile turret down here. So could do quite a bit of damage. Storm.
And Tempest production begins here. We might be in for the long haul here, Kaelaris.
Yeah, we might be.
As herO might just be happy with adding on these guys for a long time and then trying to deal with the Liberators and Vikings from afar. Actually, Liberators, there are not many of them left, just the 3 here.
Another Observer gets added on here, making sure that he can adequately deal with those Ghosts if they're to cloak up and push on forwards as herO positioning himself outside this goal base, looking for an opening, forwards.
We've seen inferior income here right now. So he can't afford to lose his units too quick, even though he has a bigger bank. That will be spent very quickly if he loses everything super fast.
herO constantly keeping some of those High Templars behind his army static, so that he will always have Storms available, especially even if these Ghosts hit the EMPs at the front ones.
herO's probe counter has actually been reduced, so as much as he's going to have a very strong army, in terms of building up a bank and replenishing that, he's going to be way weaker than TY with the mules and his good base count.
Killing off some of his own units here. herO realizes he wants more quality in his army.
Oh, this is huge. Look at how well herO is playing those High Templars. They're trying to land single Storms one by one. EMP whiffs.
Oh, a good Storm on some of those Ghosts. They will eventually be healed up once again, but weakening them.
herO is being so patient here. I think he needs to be. If either player had attacked, like herO into the Planetary Fortress or TY into the cannons, I think they would have died in that fight and then lost the game. So they have to just kind of wait on one another. But right now, herO's the confident one. Going forward, landing some Storms.
Yeah, the Ghosts are trying to sneak forward there as well, but they have EMPs there to actually fire off against those High Templars on the left-hand side.
There was no EMPs left.
Storms are hitting a lot of this at the same time, though, and all these Immortals at the front are powering their way through some of this Bioforce. The 2 Colossi have no answer to them as well here. herO takes a supply advantage.
And there's not many Stalkers left over, so herO couldn't actually blink inside of those Liberators. But TY is just going to tap out.
GG. herO brings it back 2-2. Wow. And you can see how much this series means to these 2 players. What a game, Todd. Brilliant stuff coming out from herO, forcing the game number 5. 2 previous Intel Extreme Masters champions fighting for the new opportunity at the Grand Final. herO, the hope of Protoss. It's been that way a lot during this tournament. He's been the only one to advance at each round. As we now get ready for game number 5. We're going to go to a short break here at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai, and when we return, the conclusion of herO against TY.
Do you want to feel like a pro gamer? Wait no more. Greatness awaits you with Intel Extreme Masters certified PCs and notebooks. When you see unique IEM certified stickers on the outside, You will find high-grade components with Intel Core i5 and Core i7 processors inside. Every purchase includes in-game content and supports the total prize purse of Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Feel like a pro.
all the way through this best of 5 at the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai as we get into the final game between Intel Extreme Masters champions. Who is going to the grand final? Is it herO to the left or is it TY to the right? Both of them between them have hundreds and thousands of prize pool. And we get into Sequencer. Up to the top right-hand corner in the blue, representing Team Roots, it is herO. Bringing this series back all the way to a game at number 5. And down to the bottom left-hand corner in the red, representing Team Splice, it is TY. What a series from both of these players.
It's really been.
Yeah, gotta say, Todd, it's been an absolute pleasure to cast another Premier tournament. Haven't got to cast the very tip-top of Korea versus one another for some years now. It's been great.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say absolute pleasure to be casting with you once again, but you know what? I'll take what you say.
What are you on about, mate? I see you every day.
I'm here for you every day. All right, herO has regained all the momentum in the world, but it won't matter if TY finally gets back to one of those games where he's doing the right attacks, which I think is really what he was lacking in the previous game. There were a few moments where he could have hit really strong timings. I really think that that moment when there was a Warp Prism in his bases and he was losing a lot of SCVs, if he had transferred all the SCVs onto one base, sent the units that were coming out from his barracks to that base to then defend it, he would have been able to kill herO across the map and win the game. But then again, it's a case of we're able to crunch the numbers, see everything.
Oh my god.
And they are not. And in this case, we have a proxy pylon here for herO, who's gonna go for a super ballsy move. Remember the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Grand Finals SOS versus herO, the one they tried to forget about. Apparently, he thinks he's learned something from it, and he's gonna go for a cheeky proxy here in game 1.
Don't remind me of that finals. That was crazy.
It has to be Stargate, right?
It has to be.
Maybe Robo, I think, could work as well.
Could.
It cannot be seen. If there is 1 pixel in the vision. Oh my god.
If that SCV moves down, does it see it?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Building on the corner, I think it does. If it was not in that corner, the bottom one, well, we'll see in a moment.
Yeah, I think if it was the case, I don't think herO would have gone for this.
Yeah, maybe not.
Then again, he blocked himself from making a Nexus earlier.
Does it see it? No?
No, mate.
It's not in the corner.
No, mate.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is... I think ballsy is a word that was created to describe this.
Absolutely. This is, what a play here by
I guess
herO.
Oracles and kill everything.
Yeah.
Marines. Any potential Cyclones gonna get killed?
I'm pretty sure he sees it because of the SCV that went down to the corner. Now he sees it as he's gonna react.
Oh no! Second pylon starts on time to make sure this is not gonna get empowered.
Oh my god!
Cyclone is not gonna be on the way. eBay was thrown down immediately by TY. He knows he's gonna need turrets to counter this, and now might be the time to get a turret close to this in his middle line, perhaps.
Yeah, it could actually work out here. The Adept though coming along. He retreated the Marine back because the Adept was on the way.
That is huge. He locked the Adept outside. The
herO.
Marine will survive inside. Bunker now starting. TY, even if he flies his orbital command to his main base here, he's happy. He's minimalized the damage here that he's going to take from this.
He wants that SCV for the Adept if he could get onto it, so that would be great. The Reaper's going to fly in. Here comes the Oracle. How much damage is he going to get done? Goes to work on the Marines already. Missile turret pushes it away. SCV dies there as that Widow Mine actually killed off the Adept at the front, but this is still doing work to SCVs.
Yeah, the Oracle was somewhat salvaged there and actually managed to get a few kills, but as that Widow Mine reloads, I think it's going to be time to pull back. herO's actually staying outside of the range of that mothership, that Widow Mine there. You're not going to get that reactor, bro.
Nope.
Get real.
All right, what else can this get done at the moment? herO knows he's going to eventually lose that starport as well as the pylon.
I think herO's hoping that TY will go too fast down the ramp, in which case he can kill a lot of units, maybe even the Widow Mine if it's unburrowed. And in the meantime, herO will be probing up, taking that second base. We again see 2 additional gateways. And in this case, there is no tech whatsoever from herO this time around. There is no quick Twilight for Blink.
Yeah.
It's a 3rd Oracle about to come out. I think he's trying to surprise him. I don't know.
Considering the abnormality of the build, TY has reacted pretty well. 2 pylons go down to the front. Overcharge has been used at that one as well here. And these Marines...
Where's the Widow Mine?
They've got a choice. They can either stay there and fight against the Mothership Core as well as the Oracles, or they can try and bring down these pylons.
It is the Widow Mine.
TY's going to focus down the first of the pylons here, but all the Marines are dying off. 2 pylons are finished up here for Photon Overcharge, and he's going to control this area.
And here's the problem. TY was hoping that the Oracles would come back to that left-hand side gas and try and snipe SCVs. So he took a big gamble. He said, well, if he sends Oracles there, it's going to be really good. I'm going to blow 1, maybe 2 up. But in this case, it wasn't what herO did. He stayed down the ramp. herO probably realized that was happening. I mean, he saw that no Widow Mine was moving on the ramp. He's like, you know what? I can actually get pylons and take that fight. And now he's going for a scarier lockdown than I've seen in a long time, Calais. Even warping in a sentry.
Yeah.
He can keep on tagging these units, and up until the point there's finally Medivacs, which is going to be in a little bit, TY will be paralyzed. He's not going to be able to do anything. In the meantime, herO's building up his economy. He's going to a Twilight Council.
herO's become the Swiss Army knife of Protoss here with the amount of builds he's able to pull out against the Terrans.
The MacGyver of Protoss.
The MacGyver of Protoss. You give him a toilet paper roll, you give him a paperclip, what's he going to do? He's going to lock down a Terran in his base. He's going to
build a Colossus.
Oh my god. That's a unsturdy Colossus.
He takes a bunch of toothbrush, that's defeats.
This is getting scary now for TY. He needs to break out of here. He's got to be feeling it. He's got to be feeling the nerves, as he knows that behind this herO is probably just macroing up. He knows that that 1 sentry alone, even with the force field, is a pain for him to really deal with until he gets Medivac sound.
And I love that herO is also not, going crazy on the other side of the map, not getting overconfident with something like a double forge. He gets just a single forge. He's going for Blink Stalkers, one of the best choices there. He could actually, we've seen in the past even, that was in WCS Europe as well, eternal lockdown Skylines.
Yeah.
Where there was an entire line of pylons all around the Terran base, but in this time around,
Where you going?
he doesn't even need to do that because he's tagged already those medivacs. So all he has to do is recall with this,
Oh, Marines
and then
coming
be
into
across
the
the
back.
map and be completely safe.
This is going to probably get cleaned up if he wants to go for it. He does revelate all of these units, though, so he knows exactly when they're going to hit and where they're going to hit.
He could maybe just even double overcharge and take the fight and trade.
He probably could. He's going to try, maybe. That mothership core staying there. He might have to recall everything eventually, as long as he's got enough energy for it. Bring down this pylon.
I cannot believe how much TY is being slowed down. Like it's taking forever for him to retake that expansion. Finally, recall's going to be used. I think he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to lose those very important units.
What a series. So varied. Every single game. herO now goes into the mid-game with a sizable advantage, but TY, considering the position he was in this game, has reacted in phenomenal ways. He's not out of it just yet.
Wow. And TY actually stayed so patient as well. A lot of times would have lost patience and be like, all right, screw this, I'm going for it. No, he would have paid the price if he had done that. If he had overextended a single time. He stayed patient, and up until the point he was finally going to take the fight, then herO just recalled, played it safe, preserved his Oracle count. He's going to, man, that's going to be a lot of tags here. If those Oracles don't die, there's going to be consistent tags. One of them is going to fall. Stasis wards as well can go up basically all across the map on the other side and buy herO a lot of time to get a much bigger army. Straight into charge, much like the previous time, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of gateways being dropped down. And herO, he's covering all of his bases. Literally, he's getting cannons all over the place to make sure Widowman drops don't allow TY to come back economically. 38 walkers to 57.
TY is going to have to...
Oh, no!
Gets every single Oracle there. No more revelations here for him for that time being. Look at herO frantically moving, trying to get himself in a good sedative position so that he can eventually greet the army. He knows his army is probably dwarfed by TY's right now. 65 army supply against 34. Does not want to be taking any damage in this window.
And here's the thing about herO, where he's so smart, he knows that there could be a big counterattack with a lot of bio and the critical mass that will counter tech-heavy armies.
Whoa.
So what does he do? He gets a ton of gateways, goes into charge, and it's just going to be making basically a massive amount of zealots. From there, it's kind of like MC in the old days, you know? He could pick whether he wants to go for either Colossus or a High Templars, to which the Terran has to counter perfectly without really knowing about it. So unless TY starts dropping our scans, he's going to have to kind of get lucky to be able to see it. And if he goes across the map with units, well, Stalkers, you know, Blink Stalkers, they're pretty good at sniping medivacs, so that would be very risky. So right now, any attack by TY would be a huge commitment. And if he drops his army...
He wants it, though.
And doesn't fight cost effectively, he's going to be in big trouble there.
Moving up to the top left here against the Protoss bases. As here comes a good blink forward there, gets himself some of the Liberators. Blink is on cooldown, though. This Bio's trying to shell away at these Stalkers. As the force fields bought some time for the Stalkers to get on out of there. Doesn't lose too many. But the army supply still in favor of TY, looking for some moves up towards this top left.
He's feeling the pressure, man. herO. He needs another one of those good defenses here to set himself up in going further into the game. Force fields are going to have to land. TY's trying to bait it. He's trying to bring it out of his Widow Mines and making sure that those force fields don't land well enough.
He just needed a little bit more time to gather up his gateway force, but with these two more medevacs coming along to reinforce this position, it might be bad. As good force fields will go down, catching a lot of that bio on the wrong side of it. TY here trying to ramp up the pressure. Keep herO on the back foot. It's going to be difficult. Blinks forwards once again here into the bio force. There comes the Zealots as well, trying to catch on towards these two Widow Mines. Really don't do too much. herO batters him back there as the drop goes into the right-hand side base, looking for this Nexus.
He can go into the main. He could pick up, go into the main, and then attack on the left side with the other army into the natural. But no, TY just going to choose to play it safe against that many Blink Stalkers. Just pulls back. He's done a decent amount of damage here. Got a couple of probes. He's building up a little bit more SCVs here behind this, but herO's about to be the one that's going to be aggressive here from there. I saw War Prism just come out, and remember, if he goes into High Templars and Storm, TY is going to be in so much trouble not having a really good economy to go into Ghosts.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit problematic.
Here comes the worst run by of all time.
Sorry, that was more of a run into a wall. And they will die, and that's quite a few minerals down the pan there for herO, but he's still looking okay. Got his Stalkers poised and ready to go in case this base is hit once again. Storm starts instantly. Chrono Boost into it instantly. herO here wants that out as fast as possible.
Yeah, here's once Storm finishes here, herO's going to be in such a good position. He's going to get like a lot of High Templars. Like when you're already on 6 gases here with the force base on the way, all he has to warp in from there, he's High Templars and Charge Loss, and herO's going to be in a sick position, really in one of the best positions here that he can be up against Terran. For herO to stay composed and play as well after being down 2 maps, I'm really shocked here. Up against a guy that hadn't dropped a map yet. So many people have been defeated mentally and played so bad from there, but not herO.
Stalker's ready to greet the Liberator on the right. This army ready to greet these Marines and Marauders on the left as they move away. Jeez, both of these guys have to be sweating buckets at this point.
Yeah. Every fight, both players are making the most of their armies. TY goes forward, he forces like force fields, then pulls back, stays right outside the range of overcharge, and herO immediately realizes that he's being baited out of position, moves back. So it might look like, you know, like it's a little bit scrappy and they're fighting here and they're going back and forth, but they are both actually playing almost every single fight absolutely right.
Yeah, there's just so much on the line now to get themselves in another grand final, get themselves another Intel Extreme Masters trophy. The defending champion in TY would love to get back-to-back. And here we have Liberator finding a Warp Prism to the left-hand side. Doesn't really do anything about it, though. That's a big drop-in against all of those Stalkers. TY taking a big risk here with the Liberation Zones being set up. Storm goes down on all of this. The Stalkers are going to get melted, though, and that's going to be a lot of probes under fire, as well as the Nexus getting focused down here as this continues on. Moves out of the range of that overcharge as this continues. Liberators trying to find themselves in a good position. Storm trying to hit this. Feedbacks go down, blinks forward, trying to clean this up, saves the Nexus.
There is action everywhere. Oh my god, these Item Plus! TY doesn't see this yet. herO could do so much damage here if he dropped down these Item Plus.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh. Actually, there's not that many SCVs, but whatever he can get here, right?
Tries to split them up as well. Gets a few kills. Morphs in Archon. Warps in a big round of units here as well. Those Marines and Marauders are going to have to try and clean things up. Warp Prism wants to get out of position, so it's not that vulnerable as those 2 Liberators set up and try and deal with it. More Zealots on the right-hand side as well. herO is everywhere, trying to tear down the infrastructure of TY.
Dropping down the Dark Shrine behind his herO, already being set up on 4 bases. Pretty sure there's going to be a 5th in the works very soon here. Any SCVs that he can get is going to be great. This is not one of those games where TY has a great economy and already has a bank. So herO with a big supply lead here is ahead in army, he's ahead in the upgrades.
He's marching with his army as well through the middle of the map here. These Marines and Marauders aren't going to be anything against this. Look how many High Templars are at the back here. This could be the last bastion of hope here for TY, as this army is going to start marching forwards if the Zealots get at the front as well. 2 Time Warps get thrown down at the back there to slow down the army from reinforcing the front as the Marines and Marauders get focused down. Storm's head as well. This is the last stand here for TY at the front. He will push it back.
And he just can't fight against this. There's so many Item Plus. The Warp Prism actually might get caught here. You know, he kind of needs to save that, and TY, he's showing emotion here. Look, he's moving around.
GT, well played. herO takes it. He finds himself in yet another Intel Extreme Masters final after a complete reverse sweep in this series, keeping Protoss hope alive. Unbelievable stuff here for herO. The crowd is in shock. herO takes it. What a win, Todd. What a win.
What a performance here for him to stay so calm and play so well in the last 3 maps. To win 3 maps in a row against the guy that hadn't dropped a single one against world-class players. Really showing his class here.
There's something magic in the air when it comes to the Intel Extreme Masters and herO. And he takes yet another grand final under his belt. But can he achieve another championship here? TY has to be distraught. The reigning defending Intel Extreme Masters champion will not get the back-to-back. We're going to go to a short break, and when we're back, more from the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai.
welcome back to post-game interview of Intel Extreme Master Shanghai 2017. It's Mal here, and standing beside me is root for root herO and his coach and beloved Bunny. 자, 일단 이 코치님 이겼죠? 이겼죠? 기분 좋죠?
네.
좋거든요. 자, 김주호 선수 일단 분명히 시작하기 전에 오늘 너무 안진마다 태양이한테는 질 수가 없다 이러면서 어제 밤늦게까지 밥을 먹고 네? 2대0 두 세트 주고 혹시 이긴 게 아닌가. 그게 더 멋있으니까. herO, you said all night yesterday over the dinner and everything, there's no way you could use the TY. Is that why maybe against the stats of this year, you gave up maybe 2 games and try to just come back because it looks cooler that way? Is that what it was?
일단 그냥 최근에 많이 이기긴 했지만 그렇게 말 안 했고 그냥 빡셀 것 같다고 생각했는데 방송에서 원래 빡센 스타일이라서 태양이가 그랬는데 첫 번째 경기랑 두 번째 경기는 이제 명장 이재성 코치님이 또 비드를 맞춰줬는데도 불구하고 제가 졌어요. 멍 때리다가 그래가지고 또 명장 코치님의 이름에 먹칠할 수는 없기 때문에 또 정신 차려야겠다 생각해가지고 이제 그때부터 이제 심리전으로 빌드 꼬아가면서 해가지고 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
No, I knew going up against TY, I know it was going to be a difficult matchup. It was a joke when I said it along that lines, but that's not what exactly I was thinking in my head. You know, first 2 games actually, my coach recommended the builds. Couldn't really collect myself in the games and I fell through. So from game 3 and onwards, I focused. I just couldn't bear the thought of having Bunny become the worst coach in the history of esports. So I put it together and it worked. It worked. 자, 일단 그럼 이재성 코치님, 사실 두 번째 경기 끝났을 때부터 세 번째 경기는 쳐다도 경기도 안 보고 있었어요. 눈 감고 졌다, 망했구나 이러고 있었는데 이겼어요. So Bunny, after the game 2 ended on herO's loss, you basically had your eyes closed. You're ready to fall asleep and just beat yourself to the sleep going, oh my God, it's me who caused herO the loss in IEM Shanghai.
이 경기가 끝났을 때는 제가 빌드를 다 맞춰줬는데 준호 형이 많이 실수를 해가지고 그래서 많이 막 긴장을 하면서 봤는데 그래도 이렇게 이겨가지고 제 경기 이긴 거보다도 오히려 막 기분이 너무 좋네요.
이 순화해서 말씀하시네요.
당연하죠.
카페 스테이지 얘기가 다른데.
아무튼 이겨서 너무 좋았습니다.
You know, it gives me a great joy to see one of my boy make it advance to the finals in IEM Shanghai. I know in the first 2 games he used the builds I recommended, didn't come through, but you know, attaboy for really pulling through and advancing to the finals. 자, 그럼 마지막으로 분명히 며칠 전에 인터뷰할 때 김준호 선수 IEM 왕자의 복귀라고 선언을 했는데 복귀라고 하기에는 너무 불안해요. 도대체 왜 그런 건지, 그리고 팬들도 많이 불안해하고 있거든요. herO, you know, yesterday, a couple days before when we were having an interview, you said this is the moment of return of IEM Prince. But that game, that series, did not look like it at all.
일단 아침에 시작해서 정신을 못 차리는 것도 있는데 이상하게 이번에 와가지고 제가 원래 초반에 좀 먹고 들어가는 스타일인데 슬로우 스타터가 된 것 같아요. 지고 후반에 이제 정신 차려서 잘 되는 느낌인데 좀 2번 연속 경기하면서 그랬기 때문에 이제 3번째는 절대 안 그래야 될 것 같고 컨디션 관리 잘해가지고 이제 마지막 결승에서는 팬분들 심장 폭행 안 하도록 열심히 노력하겠습니다.
You know, if I may say a little piece as an excuse, is that it's too early and it's never been like this for me where when the tournament starts, I get right back in there. But it's just so that this tournament's a little weird how I need a little thump in the head, a little wake-up call for me to get into the game. So I apologize to any of the fans that are wondering. But, you know, it's gone through. I've made it through. Final is going to be a different game for sure. So stay tuned. Thank you very much and congratulations on your advancements. Back to you, experts.
All right, thanks, Small. I think I can speak for all of us up here. That looked fantastic. The reverse all kill, the reverse sweep here, something that TY has had a lot of problem with in GSL this year.
Yeah, he definitely has. I said herO was going to 3-0, but I didn't think he was going to drop 2 maps and then go and 3-0, you know?
Nice spin there.
Yeah, all right, expert.
Yeah, I knew what was happening. Hey, the production had TY up 2 already, so...
That's true. Oh my God.
I had it planned. But yeah, great series. I mean, herO, we saw a bit of everything from him. Different styles, different ways to open, proxying a Stargate next to his opponent's natural expansion. I mean, he gave absolutely everything to make it to this finals.
Yeah, I loved it, and I'm kind of for a loss for words, but not that much actually, because I want to talk about these games all the time. That was so cool. We went over the first 2 games in depth already. Then game number 3 is like, all right, tournament live on the line. You're playing Defenders Landing. It's a little bit of an awkward map. He goes for a build that he just executed incredibly well. We were both looking and like, maybe one moment he could have used Pulsar Beam instead of another Stasis Trap and maybe even get further ahead. But I love my Blink into charge, you know, this follow-up, because you skirmish, you make it a low eco game, you make it a scrappy game, Terra moves out, and then you sandwich with charge and Blink. It's just awesome. Game 4 on Proxima, I think that was an insanely well-played game. I love the cannons in the middle of the map, because a couple of times those EMPs came down, and you look at that army, it's like, he could lose everything now, but then you fall back to 6, 7 cannons, and Ghosts really don't like running into cannons, so, you know, it was just awesome. There was one moment as well, early game, where I think the Warp Prism maybe saved this tournament live, because Todd said it as well. He's like, look at this army of TY early on that's marching across the map. I think if TY steams in at that point, kills the pylons, I don't even know if herO can survive. But he warped in more and more adepts, kept buying time for himself, and then it turned into this longer game where we had the cannons in the middle. And I mean, game 5, what the hell was that? I mean, it was awesome.
That proxy that like got scouted at the last second because the SCV movement. There's a little bit of randomness in StarCraft II, including how SCVs build things. And this is like one of the craziest things ever, right? Like if that SCV immediately goes over and sees that Stargate, herO has to cancel and go for a different build.
I think it becomes problematic, but what he does do, no matter where the Reaper is, the first adept, he shades it immediately across the map. And don't forget that he keeps the probe alive as well, which is a little similar to Defenders. Now, obviously, this is very close. So if I was TY, I maybe pull SCVs, and then I don't think a second pylon saves you. But, I mean, yeah, you're right. If he finds it immediately, pulls 5 SCVs. But I think that herO has a backup plan, because I can imagine herO being like, you know what? Game 5, semifinals. This seems like a good place to proxy. Like, he's definitely done it before, right?
You would think so, but if you can get spotted there as well, it's like, are you counting on the SCV not bumping over and seeing this? I don't know. That was crazy. But the contain at the bottom of the ramp with the forest fields and everything?
Yeah, I mean, herO did it perfectly, right? He bought himself so much time, and then we thought he almost threw it away. The Oracles fly over all the Marines, which is what he was meant to buy time with. So suddenly TY has like 30, 40 army supply marching across the map. The Warp Prism comes in yet again, saves the day, and suddenly herO is able to make a game out of it. Then suddenly storms are landing everywhere, and well, the Prince of IEM is back once again.
Yeah, even that game 5 was crazy, because at first we obviously loved it for herO, but then we're like, okay, you know, TY did handle this pretty much as good as he could have, because he has a big army. Then the Oracles die, and you're like, oh my god, is he going to throw it? Because, I mean, I love Charge and Blink together, but if you're down 25 army supply and you don't have double Forge, you're in a lot of trouble, and herO was in a lot of trouble. But he got Storm almost immediately, which I think was an excellent call, given the circumstances. On Defender's Landing, that would have been a mistake. In this case, it was the perfect call. He puts him in the Prism, and then TY tries to get funky with Liberators drop, but he has 1 High Templar already, drops that first Storm, and I think the moment he saved that like 3rd base that he had, I think from that point on, it was herO's game to lose, but it was just awesome then. I loved it. Great series.
An outstanding series. There's no question about that. But now here we have herO in the finals for the 5th time at IEM. The 5th time. That's so wild. And of course, trying to get those extra WCS points that are so important for his BlizzCon run. But now he has to wait for the winner of Bjorn and Rogue. In herO's mind, who do you think he wants to advance?
I think he wants Bjorn to advance. His PvZs looked very shaky, I think, and he's made it to the finals off the back of being innovation in TY. How can that not fill you with confidence in your PvT?
I find it a hard question to answer, because I see an upside and a downside to both. I mean, both Rogue and Bjorn are scary as hell. herO likes to play scrappy, but I also think that Bjorn excels in that, because when it's scrappy, it means that Bjorn can micro a lot of units at once. And I don't think you want to play against someone like Bjorn. Like TY is a little more calculated and calm and goes for pushes. Bjorn is like 4 medevacs at once, everywhere at once. Rogue on the other hand, PvZ, herO, it's a tiny bit hit or miss, but if it's hit, I mean, suddenly adepts bouncing. I don't think that herO cares that much. I think he's just going to sit back. And I don't think if you're herO right now, I don't think you should want either one, because they're both so good. And you don't want to get in this mindset, let's get Bjorn, and then if Rogue wins, you're like, ouch. I think you just wait and see. I don't know. I don't think it matters much.
Well, I think he's going to remain pretty calm. He has to be feeling very good about his run so far here at IEM. We're going to jump to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Bjorn, the defending world champion, goes up against herO, the #1 ladder player in the world.